We should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. I see a lot of daddy references in there, mostly from males. Very interesting. We've got quite a bit to cover today. Oh, actually, come to think of it, I didn't actually get my links onto the side of the other browser. My apologies. That'll take me a minute. We'll shoot the shit while I do that. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got Cori Bush. Say goodbye. Cori Bush is out. Another leftoid dropped in the dust. We've got Tim Walz stuff. And by the way, can somebody please tell me, because I don't know, with Tim Walz, is the horse semen stomach pump story true, or is that some sort of meme? If somebody can please tell me in chat, I would be appreciative of that. We're talking about Kamala's breakdown. Of course, she's had several, actually, over the last few days. First she had the wokeness screed. We'll talk about that directly. And then she had that weird episode in Detroit where there were Gaza protesters there. And she's like, I'm speaking now. That didn't go over so well, I think. Her core fans, I'm sure, absolutely loved it. I don't think that the Gaza protesters loved it quite so much. That's going to hurt her in Michigan, by the way. Let's drag this over so I can actually read these articles. Now, sometimes I have to resize things. I can do zoom and stuff like that, but I don't want to have to crane in and stare at the screen that way. This is Mike. Clank, motherfuckers. I need all this rain like I need an infected scrotum. YouTube wouldn't let me type that, so Rumble gets my money instead. And dust thou art. Sticks, can you say Irish wristwatch quickly? Irish wristwatch. Close enough. I hate language challenges like that. Like it's like a she sells seashells by the seashore. That's all right, you know. No, we're gonna be putting putting Kamal on blast. Holy shit! But first, we got to talk about Cori Bush. Say so long, squad member. Cori Bush loses her House seat in Missouri's 1st district. Updated. Yeah, she lost by a slightly narrow margin. Now, keep in mind, the person replacing her is still a leftoid. It's not like she's being replaced by somebody who's a MAGA conservative or something like that. Still a leftoid. But Cori Bush is one of the worst and has been one of the most frenetic and bizarre members of Congress now for several years. So the fact that she's gone is in my mind, generally a good thing. Well, I like it when there are leftoids that like they'll say weird shit and they'll turn off voters and they become dead weight to the party, to the Democratic Party. I enjoy that. It's amusing, number one, and it's politically helpful, number two. You've got to understand these people still have a vote in Congress. So when they get shuffled out, it's always a good thing. Imagine you're a member of the squad. You're on the far left of politics, the cutting edge of progressivism. You still manage to lose somehow. Very interesting. And Ilhan Omar, I think she might have, I think AOC actually, doesn't she have a challenger or something like that? I heard some shit about AOC. She's more likely to prevail, you know, because she's younger. Cori Bush's is, I mean, I wouldn't say AOC is attractive, but, you know, she's in the younger age range. So, you know, the boomers, you know, they think that she's hot, I guess, or something like that. I don't know. I think Luna's the only truly attractive member of Congress, and maybe Boebert. Boebert got fueled up by a Democrat, actually, at that theater that one time. And you're like, well, you know, she does have perky tits, you know. Steady Eddie 1983, if they're going to call us maggots, let's call them Kamala jockeys. Yeah, that would be seen as bigoted, unfortunately. BW, I watched your BitChute video yesterday about threat to expand SCOTUS. You forget that they know if they get Kamala in and legalize illegals, they're the only ones that will ever win again. That is not true. That is blackpilling. Sir Thomas Drake, just DM'd you an article about a woman whose Lyme disease was cured by bee venom, potentially, probably in your non-main inbox. I'll have to take a look at that. That might be docketed for tomorrow. Thank you. BW. On Black Conservative Channel, he was pointing out that 77% think that the country is on the wrong track. That, according to the polls, most people trust Trump with the economy, yet still Kamala is up. It's id poll. That's the only thing she's got. She's got nothing other than identity politics at this point. By the way, Iran and Hezbollah are currently organizing to attack Israel. And it looks like it might be different from the last time. The last time when Israel was, you know, the running roughshod in Gaza, Iran said, well, we're going to attack you. And so what did Iran do? It basically forewarned Israel, hey, the drones are incoming, and sent like shitty last-gen drones and rockets and stuff like that. And Iron Dome intercepted pretty much everything. This time, though, it looks like Iran and Hezbollah are both simultaneously planning to attack, but they're not fully coordinating with each other. You could have a really weird scenario right now in which Hezbollah does an offensive and gets hit by Iranian missiles or something like that. I'm not even 100% sure what the fuck is going on. As Iran and Hezbollah attacks loom, it will happen. We're just waiting to see, is it going to be an actual all-out regional conflict, or is it going to be a pulled punch just on paper? Why hasn't the IDF adjusted civilian guidelines? Israel is seeking to offer early enough warning without dragging restrictions on for too long or burning intelligence sources. Yeah, they're wondering why the IDF isn't giving people more forewarning, because you know, you can have a problem if you've got 1,000 drones coming in with incendiaries or 1,000,000 rockets or something like that. People can get hurt. Hell, even if you bullseye them out of the air, the shrapnel falling out of the sky can hurt somebody who's in the open streets. It's probably better to remain inside during such a bombardment. And so this is mainly about the early warning system over there in Israel. What I worry about, though, is that you're going to have a significant offensive by Iran and Hezbollah. It will probably be conjoined by Hamas and possibly other regional groups, maybe the Yemeni Houthis, etc. And then all hell breaks loose. You end up with multiple nations fighting one another, state and non-state actors. This is something that's been warned about. Millions of people could die. My hope is that it'll be like the last offensive. The last offensive, Iran pulled its punch and basically on paper, in principle, sent over a barrage and then called it a day, knowing full well that 99% of their munitions were going to be intercepted. But Iron Dome can only do so much. Is it sophisticated? Yeah. Is it really, really good against localized attack? Yeah, it's a par none. That point aside, it would get overwhelmed in a continuous attack. You would run out of ammunition to actually field it at all. If that happens, the Israelis might then attempt to invade the Iranians or something like that, or invade Lebanon, and then you end up with a regional war. Again, the civilian suffering would be sheer, and we would not be able to supply aid readily at that point. I don't want anyone to suffer. I don't care what religion they follow. It's bullshit. War is bullshit. Tim Walz knows this, by the way. BW, I know she wouldn't pick Shapiro. That would have been too good. I think we've effed this pretty much ensures she won't lose any voters. At least we'll wind up in World War III and get to start over, maybe. I don't think that Kamala will win. Look the other day, for example, at her major gaffe with regards to the Gaza protesters. The more she goes out in public, and all Trump has to do is trot her out in public, challenge her as often as possible, get her into 5, 6, fucking 7 debates, bring her out before the public, make her uncomfortable so she cackles, and get her on record on her actual positions. But it seems that Trump doesn't even need to do anything because she seems to be doing it herself. She's just strategically fucking retarded. What the fuck? Never underestimate the balloon head vote. I met a woman on a train in northern Italy. She told me she voted for Bill Clinton because he had a cute butt. Ugh. All right. Miss Jack, that shirt is fucking legit. Yeah, this is actual vintage 80s too. It's not a modern knockoff. I love Paradise Found. Go and find yourself a Paradise Found shirt on eBay. Get one of the original ones with the little wooden buttons. Sometimes they come off, unfortunately, because they're 40 years old. Nesquik. Important part of the Tim Walz story. Him not wanting to deploy with his troops is one thing, but he's been claiming to have been in Iraq for years now. Total stolen valor. I heard that. I need more information, though, before I can put together a more coherent video. And last week, and I'm slightly happy that Cori Bush lost, but I believe the daunting task is getting rid of Ilhan Omar. Once Ilhan Omar is gone, I believe the squad will collapse. Yeah, picking off Ilhan Omar is a good idea. Ryan Spratt. Hey, Sticks, I took your advice and tried the tomato juice Bloody Mary on the plane yesterday. Aftertaste was way too tangy. Clank. Oh, I don't do a Bloody Mary. I just drink the tomato juice. Yeah, no, I'll drink wine on the side, but the tomato juice stands alone. If only they offered V8. I can only imagine how good that would be at altitude. Rob P., thoughts on Trump's appearance on Aiden's stream? I have no particular thoughts on that one. Endless Vertigo. Reminder, call your rep about removing the car kill switch and drunk driving detection requirement for 2026 plus new cars from the transportation bill. Violates the fourth, in my opinion, but I'm not a lawyer. Yes, it clearly does, but there are workarounds, unfortunately. BW, sorry, some of my chats were supposed to be days apart, but you were down and Jeremy never reads my chats. My apologies, BW. And this is Mike. Kamala is the Kmart of politicians, and she's a whore. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, she literally fucked her way to the top. Let's, by the way, get to our sponsors. First and foremost, the show is now partially sponsored by Goldco, stickslikesmetals.com. There's a link in the description. It's also pinned at the top if you're watching on YouTube. We've seen some weird economic information coming in over the last few days. There's some shaky going on there. I'm proud to be partnered with Goldco. They got an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, so I'm not hawking anything cheap and scammy. They are actually responsive, actually friendly. They're representatives, which matters. You don't want to work with assholes, after all. I believe in gold and silver, anecdotally, and I've bought some silver from them and can't wait till it gets here, because then I'm definitely going to be showing it off the next time I talk about them, and probably at other odd times. Gold and silver have been used for thousands of years by mankind for utilitarian purposes. So with fiat currency, you can wipe your butt with it, use it as tinder. It doesn't really have any real further usefulness. I mean, I guess you could shred it up into your salad for cheap fiber, but I don't know why you would want to eat the Benji greens. You'd want to eat other greens. Gold and silver are used in jewelry, electronics, mechanics, things like that, chemistry, etc., etc. They can help you. You can request, again, on stickslikesmetals.com, your free gold and silver investing kit, whether you want physical or whether you want to roll over some of your retirement savings, you just want a gold or silver backed IRA, they can help you out. You can get all the information from them, again, stickslikesmetals.com. I am a partner of Goldco, of course, disclaimer, but I'm proud to be partnered with them. This is not something that I entered into lightly. If I didn't think their company was trustworthy, I wouldn't be telling you about it right now. Let's put it that way. I like silver mostly. I like its gleam. I like it when it tarnishes a little bit. Again, I mentioned the other live stream. When it turns that slight pinkish color, that looks really, really cool. It's sort of like an abalone shell or something like that. I happen to be coincidentally going to the beach tomorrow. I'll discuss that in a moment. But yes, we are sponsored by Goldco, and I am very, very happy about that. Good company. Yeah, excellent. Now we'll get to our other sponsors as well, shall we? Because there are all sorts of things that you should think about purchasing. We've got mushroom pills, cultivated-mind.com. I take one of these every morning. I think this one's almost empty at this point. I sort of alternate between the two of them. There's Brain 2, there's Radiant Energy, there's the Immuno one. I haven't tried the Immuno one yet because my immune system kicks the shit out of everything anyway. So I'll get to that at some point. Cultivated-mind.com. We've got pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get bookmarks, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, glassware, and much more with the Ouroboros logo for all of your various needs. BiltongUSA.com. That's the home of Anton's meat. You should suck on his fucking meat. It's a good idea. Use code STICKS, by the way, on all of these sites. You can generally get a discount. His biltong is fantastic. I've got several bags in the fridge. It's not going to last very long. Yeah, he sends me over several bags. And it's like the next day, I got hot and sweaty out gardening. I needed more protein. You can also get tumblers, mugs, and shirts there as well. Sticks, Hex, and Hammer branded, of course. We have wickedneedleembroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. They're high quality. They're good. Many people wanted these when I first debuted it, and I was wearing it. 10,000 people asking for the friggin' hat. I'm like, oh shit, I underestimated myself. We've got heritageheirloomseedcompany.com, where you can get a seed survival bucket. You can also get Stick, Sex, and Hammer soap, and there is a new blend of soap that is being manufactured as we speak. It's mainly for the women out there. So, you get one for your girlfriend, or maybe you are a girl and you want to smell like Stick, Sex, and Hammer does for some odd reason. I don't know why you'd want to. You can get that as well soon. websterswares.com/sticks-wares. They've got various miscellanea. They've got Trump merch. They've got Sticks merch. We've got knives. They're very sharp, so be very careful when you unfold them. Flags, jackets, and also my favorite, the metal straws. I got to say, I like the metal straws best because I saw that one video like 10 years ago where the sea turtle had like a plastic straw stuck in its nose and they had to pull it out and it was bleeding everywhere. It made me feel sad. So I figure this is real environmentalism. You can use the straw indefinitely. You can use it 10,000 times and you never need a disposable again. We've got jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com, who are releasing at least one new blend. I'm not sure about if they're releasing more than that. Get the Costa Rica blend. This hits you hard. Oh, God, you can still smell it through the bag. And I haven't even pulled the tab to open it, but it's some good shit. I don't know what they're going to name their new blend. In fact, it was like a blind taste test. They just gave me 3 blends and said, check these out. So I did that with one other person, and we both agreed that blend number 2 that's at least as good as the Costa Rica blend. So I'm assuming that'll be available fairly soon. And then finally, brickmuseum.com. Brickmuseum.com, based in Bellaire, Ohio. You should go and check out their site. They got all sorts of Legos. It's a fantastic collection. Like, it's the sort of thing that when you were a little kid, if you were a Lego kid, you definitely wanted. So again, brickmuseum.com. Just check them out. Maybe go and pay them a visit. You're going to be in Ohio for a couple of days. Take a little break. Anyways, those are our sponsors. I think I've got another one that I might be working with soon, actually. Let's see. BW, Mini Soties, an open primary. Just saying. Yeah, I know. The bonus holes. Now Threads and Instagram is targeting us. Our account got locked for spam suspiciously soon after commenting something critical of China. What a coinky dink. I myself do not use Threads or Instagram, so I can't help you with that one. Billy, Sticks, tell JSF guy in your comments to quit it being a silly Billy and take a joke instead of being a boomer. Thank you. Also, hashtag Tampon Tim. Yeah, what's the fucking Tampon Tim thing about? I don't know. So yes, JSF guy, don't be a silly Billy. This is a fun channel. I randomly perv on members of my audience and say sexual shit and, talk about weird things. And I always will. Roller Skater Texas Girl, please do an interview with Chaotic Truth live. I could consider it. By the way, back in the old days, you could actually go to somebody's channel from their super chat. It doesn't seem you can do that anymore. I can't get to BW's channel. I can't get to fucking, what a fuck. I can't even, by the way, copy anything out if I'm on StreamYard. Like, so I want to go to someone's channel to see what kind of content they have or something like that. I can't even do it. Nobody has confirmed, by the way, whether the horse semen story about... here, just a second. I'm going to do this fucking manually. Get on BW's channel and shit like that. I'll try. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. This Mike. The Grizzly. How likely is it that Kamala doubles down on her mistakes in Michigan if there's another protest at another rally, losing her Minnesota and Michigan? I would say that the Gaza protesters need to realize that you could hilariously troll Kamala Harris because she will do the same thing. There is a good chance that she would. She's trying to do the strong, empowered, sassy black woman thing. And if you can antagonize her, this is what I advise Trump to do. Antagonize her. She goes crazy. She says weird shit. She laughs at weird shit. That's just the way she works. This is Mike. Got a paper straw one time and it was awful. Ever since I realized straws are stupid, unneeded, and a waste of time. Humans are dumb. Well, if you get a straw made out of metal, you can just use it indefinitely. All you need is a pipe cleaner. Put it down there once in a while. Wasted. Good morning from the grave. Sticks, could I get advice on editing? Currently going through my first writing project, and it's in the final stages. Just remember, well, I don't know what writing program you're using. If you've got a file, I can always review it for you. I will do that for you since you've given me a significant amount of money over the years. Thus thou art. Hey, Sticks, we use something called a simple key loader, or SKL, to load the encryption keys for radio networks. It's all super strict and very professional at all times. Well, someone drew a dick on ours. Sounds really professional. I imagine trolling in the entertainment industry is quite rife. This is Mike. Tampon Tim because he allowed tampon dispensers in high school boys' bathrooms, and I believe it was destroyed within 20 minutes. Yeah, you try to get high schoolers not to rebel against whatever the fuck you happen to be doing at the time. See how long that works. Hell, high school girls, they're even worse. You should see girls' bathrooms, dude. Again, when I was at UVM, part of my work study was that I had to do like basic bitch janitorial work. Hey, they paid all right. It was $15 an hour, and this is before the Biden session, by the way, so it wasn't bad. And you could only make a certain amount per year, but you know, it was a little bit of money. It was something. And I had to clean out the bathroom trash a couple of times. Boys' room, okay, the trash. You know, there's toilet paper and shit like that, and you know, wrappers from candy and stuff like that. It's normal stuff. You go into the girls' bathroom, what do you get? There's fucking tampons everywhere. There's fucking used maxi pads and like shit smeared toilet paper just randomly in the stalls and weird stuff like that. And piss everywhere. It's like, don't you have to sit down to pee? Why is it that if I go to the boys' room, I mean, dudes can whip it out and just piss all over the wall, but I never saw that. In the girls' bathroom, it was a goddamn mess. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought girls were more tidy than men. Apparently not when they're in the public restroom. Then they just let it all hang out. Last beacon. I have a question for you. What sort of music do you like to listen to in order to sleep? I like a mix of New Age and Gregorian chant, like 90s New Age specifically. I do not listen to any music to sleep. It will either be nature ambience or the fan. No, seriously. Women overall are more tidy and organized than men. But when they get into the bathroom, I couldn't even fucking conceive of it. It was disgusting. I'm like, should I get hazardous duty pay for this or something? How do I know that that tampon there is not infected with syphilis? It was goddamn terrible. I mean, I have a strong stomach. I was literally grossed out. I'm like, oh, God. Wasted bonehead. I thought girls' bathrooms were clean and shit. Guess not. No. Not even close. You use tampon applicators, bloody maxi pads, shit-stained paper. That's basically the name of the game. Never want to go into a girl's bathroom again. Thankfully, it's after hours, so you know there's no actual girls in there or anything. That might have improved it some, but yeah. Then I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Jay Reed debated a Dem friend who doesn't care at all that the Dem primary was rigged by Biden's mental decline and replaced him. Will independents care? Yeah, I think that they will. Cam2425IA, check out Alex O'Connor or Cosmic Skeptic videos talking to Chat GPT. Sounds good. Felix Fanboy Rico, hot sauce in my bag is from a Beyonce song. Funny thing is, hot sauce was the name of her baseball bat she carries to fuck someone up. Now go back and watch Clinton say this and understand why it's cringe. Yeah, she listens to Beyonce a lot. She probably listens to show tunes. Magnum Express. Sticks, have you tried reaching out to Stephen Miller? He had an interview with Benny Johnson yesterday. Apparently, he's one of Trump's advisors. No, I haven't, actually. If somebody can get me in touch with somebody from the Trump campaign, doing unofficial advice is a specialty of mine. I've been doing it for free for over a decade for random people. Paskin Cori. Gregory Stevens? Is this Gregory Stevens? Go tear it out your ass. Bail bonds. Yeah, I was actually watching bail bonds the other day. I need 72 pounds of walnuts ASAP right away. Yeah, I can quote most of the fucking soundboards. Duncan, Gregory Stevens, bail bonds, of course, especially the drunken bail bonds. You got the wrong drinks in your asshole. Musically assured destruction. Harris is being pitched to a lifestyle brand. Shitlibs are deluding themselves like the idea of biracial strong women defeating Orange Man. Yeah, some of them they're pretty pathetic. Holden Sneedmeyer. Look at the bright side, Tarl. If Kamala wins, maybe Texas will finally realize it needs to look out for its own people. Yeah, silver linings. Joel Castillo. You should take over the Libertarian Party. You have the clout to get it done. Yeah, I would be considered a cuck, though, by the hardline ANCAPs, because I don't want to fully dissolve the state, and I simply say, look, I'm pragmatic, I'm reasonable, I'm willing to compromise. All we need is a 50% reduction in taxes, a 70% reduction in bureaucratic bullshit, and the elimination of 3 or 4 government bureaus, and then we'll call it a day and not start any wars, and everything will be fine. The dashing rogue sticks in girls' bathroom looking for spell components. Well, if you need to do a blood ritual, yeah, that's the place to find it. The bonus holes, dudes peeing on the floor as a result of poor potty training. Some of your parents didn't throw their cigarette butts into the toilet for you to do target practice, and it shows. That literally happened, by the way. My parents were both smokers when I was young. Yeah, I did target practice on the cigarette butts that were in the toilet. Yeah, absolutely. I fully admit to this, and I had a great time doing it. It's like sinking a fucking submarine. Mike Rindau, audible versions of the works of Tarl Warwick on Amazon. I don't exactly have a books on tape voice. I've thought about doing that, but then I thought, some of these works are literally just labor of love mode. They'll pay off the amount of work that I put into editing them within the next 5 years or something. So I now maybe Sickness and Hell or Morbid Stories someday. Maybe I'll do those ones. John Andrew, women do not like to sit on public toilets. They stand or squat over the bowl. That's why it's all over the place. Okay, that makes sense. All right. I guess. I mean, but still, god damn. Your fucking bathrooms are retardedly, terribly, terribly wrong. It's like walking into a murky swamp. This is Mike. Women pretend to be clean and feminine to make up for their bathroom situation, like Cosby having a clean act to cover his sins. Wasted bonehead, Democrats and Republicans. I fully sympathize. Dost thou art. Did you know there's a cult in the Navy called the Goat Locker? Their idol is a man with the head of a goat, and only people who have made it to the rank of E7 or Chief can join. No, I didn't know that. You can DM me with more information. That would be fun. Last Beacon, you have a strong stomach. I don't have a weak gag reflex. Wasted Sticks, if you like Ghost, I recommend Watcher in the Sky. It's one of their best songs. Thank you. Wasted Bonehead, Shitstone has arrived. The Night Haunter cometh. I'm calling from Springfield. Calling from Springfield. I got an 8-inch cock. Fat. Got it in my hand right now, and it's getting hard. Yeah, that dude, they catfished him with a fake sex line worker. He's from Boston. Very, very thick accent. He was just rambling about his cock and, beating off and stuff like that. Calling from Springfield. Last Beacon. Personally, I kind of want to dissolve the state. While I would love that if it were possible, you would simply get an immediate creation of a sub-state, which wouldn't even be constitutionally restrained. It'd be mob rule. Jay Reed, remember the satanic racist prank calls? Holy shit. Yeah, I can't even quote those ones. I can quote pretty much every line the satanic racist did verbatim. The bonus holes. I pretended I was an Imperial Star Destroyer and the cigarette butts were X-Wings. Barb Feeler. Last name was like Filer or Filer. Which government bureaus would you get rid of if you could? The IRS, the FBI. Let's see, what else? It would be more like, which ones would I keep? We'll keep the CIA because people need cocaine. We'll keep the Department of Agriculture because I care about farmers. And they do put out circulars and information and stuff like that that's necessary. Yeah, I don't know. The USDA, mostly I would just reduce them in size and constrain their bureaucratic power. So like the USDA, it's a good idea. The FDA, but I don't think they should be able to randomly schedule drugs. I think the drug war should be over. So that's what I would do. Some of them I would get rid of. The FBI would be gone. Bystander syndrome. Horses have a specific quality unmatched by every other form of transportation. Tampon Tim probably. Everyone in the audience, you. Yes, can somebody please confirm or deny? Did he actually drink horse semen? I mean, I'm assuming that it's false. I'm assuming that it's just a joke at his expense, but I don't know. Paid letter, the truth about Tim Walz. Yes, he's been, this is written, by the way, by several people that were under his command originally or associated with him. You should definitely take that link in the description because it's fairly damning. Because the idea is that Tim Walz effectively abandoned his own troops. And then he got demoted as a result of this, which, I mean, just go and get deployed. Maybe you get the Medal of Valor or something like that. Maybe you get a couple of Purple Hearts. You know, you might have lost a leg at some point, but, you know, you should probably just go. And by the way, to elaborate on my video this morning, to be clear, if I were in a command position and they were calling people up to go and serve, I would serve. Absolutely, in a heartbeat. I'd be afraid. So would you. Don't do the bravado thing. I would be afraid. I'm like, well, I might get the Medal of Honor, but I also might get my head blown off. That would not be pleasant. I'm assuming that being in a combat zone is not pleasant. Nobody that I've talked to that served in one has ever said it was anything other than living hell, but I'd feel a responsibility towards my men. What I meant this morning is if I was just a grunt, if I'm not getting a pension or something, yeah, I probably would have pulled a Tim Walz and refused. That's what I meant. I could have worded that differently. A couple of people messaged me about that. To be clear, if I were a command sergeant or something like that, a fucking captain, yeah, I would lead my men. Also, you get to make certain executive decisions in the battlefield. I mean, you get to choose which MRE you eat. That would be pretty cool. Wasted, but sticks. If we decriminalize every drug, what would the CIA run? Shit, you're right. If we end the drug war, we don't need the CIA anymore now, do we? Okay, well, you just saved the taxpayers billions of dollars. Good on you, Wasted. Sigil, I heard Bonehead drank butt milkshakes with Tim Walz. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Tim Walz. He's just a weird-ass dude. Like, they're trying to cast J.D. Vance off as weird. His family life, at the very least, seems relatively normal, and Walz is just, like, psycho or something. He's a good running mate for someone like Kamala. Scott Steiner, the world's greatest ring announcer. Last night we had a blast on Sleazy's live stream. We had fun with Walz memes like the Fudd lore, Tampon Tim, and Donkey Special Yum Yum Goo. Meme war is on. Range Fudd from Fudd lore meme is Kamala's VP. Yeah, the Fudd picture is definitely getting memed up right now. He looks exactly like the Boomer Fudd meme that had been circulating 2 or 3 fucking years ago. He looks exactly the same, glasses and all, with his shotgun and the orange cap and everything. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. If Winter's loading, Sticks would love to see you on a panel like Piers Morgan show and crush some of the leftoids on there. I'm always willing if people can hook me up with slots, you know? By the way, please send no more super chats. I know we're only at 30 minutes in, but I really do want to get to a couple of these things. Again, tomorrow I'm going to the beach for an extended weekend. I will make probably my morning videos, but I'm not going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. I'm also not going to be live streaming. I never do on the weekends. I'm going to be out in the title pools. I promise you lots and lots of good pictures on Twitter mainly. And I will take video of all the weird, creepy, crawly things that I see in the title pools. And I'll probably ramble about politics out there too. I want to spend as much time in the title pools at the beach as possible. As a kid, it was so fucking fun. I was always scientifically minded. And I'm seeing like thousands and thousands of weird species. I can't even identify half of them. And now I can capture them in high def. I'm hoping to find some weird fish or, you know, some bones and shells and stuff. John Hendy, Andy 6 learned how to use his shit from the UVM girls. Yeah, no, you would see shit covered toilet paper and it would just be like left beside the toilet or something like that. I had to clean that shit up. I'm like, I don't know who shit. Maybe it was a hot girl. Okay, that's a little bit better, but maybe it was the 70-year-old teacher. That's disgusting. Roller Skater Texas Girl, Alice Chaotic Truth live to email you, Sticks. Okay, thank you. Lizard 450. Kamala Harris supported the wrongful conviction of Jamal Truelove. Look up his history. Story. Last election, they used his story as a hit piece. Now they're trying to cover it up. Emperor Soft Turtle. Rock to your dome. Give me those 3 Cicero quotes. I don't know what that exactly refers to. Latin. Sticks. You would be shocked how many guys want to go on deployment, especially in combat arms. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're sitting around on a base, it's like you maybe get bored and you're like, God damn, start a war already. But once you're there, you're fucking crying like a fucking baby. And that's going to be 90% of people. Because you're going to have to kill people. And you're constantly mindful of the fact that you might be killed. It's not pleasant. It's depictions of war overly dramatically patriotic. And it's like, well, we can beat the enemy. And then you've got the dude unfurling the flag and charging forth like in The Patriot or something like that. That's not the way that it was. Do you know what the battlefield smells like? According to my dad, who was in the Vietnam War, it smells mainly like shit, actually, because when a person gets killed, the first thing that they do is evacuate their bowels. And a little bit of piss and maybe burning blood and flesh and hair. Sounds really romantic. BW, I hope the horse thing comes out. That would turn off some independents. I guessed he and Vaush would get along. Yeah, he'll be giving his endorsement any day. But yes, please send no more super chats here. Wasted bonehead. Blasphemy. I'd never drink anything with a politician, much less something from a horse. Adhog. In your opinion, does Walz strengthen Kamala in the Great Lakes and Midwest regions? If so, is it a greater degree than Vance strengthening Trump? I don't think that Walz adds anything to the ticket. I think that it was mainly a pitch for Minnesota and Michigan, but then she just flubbed it the other night at her rally with the Islamic voting bloc. Last beacon. That's exactly why I want to dissolve the state, so I can see the NSA, yeah, I'd get rid of them, and CIA be dissolved as well as the FBI. Yeah, NSA can go. And Department of Homeland Security gets parsed. Yeah, I mean, you need their help at the border, but that's the only thing they should be doing. Mayor Mike, hey, greetings, Clankers. I had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. Did I miss anything? My condolences. I hope that you're recovering well. But, yeah, you missed quite a bit in the news. Basically, complete chaos. Last beacon, one last rumble rant. Ping us, ping us, ping us, ping us, ping us. Hey, ping us. I get the YouTube poop reference with Robotnik. Next news story. Kamala Harris is indeed on drugs and brain fried. You can look at that for yourself. It's not archived in the description. It's just a video link. She goes off with wokeness and shit like that. Well, this one wasn't the wokeness one. Which one was this one? Oh, actually, can I play this and not run afoul of copyright? I can if I have my earbuds in. Which one was this? I can't remember which one I docketed. My apologies. It's only 13 seconds long. Yeah, this is the wokeness one. Kamala Harris praising wokeness, saying we need to stay woke, be more woke, or woker, as she said it. And then she laughs intermittently in her hyena laugh mannerism. And it was just really, really awkward and bizarre. And it's not exactly a surprise because Kamala Harris has been awkward this whole fucking time. She just, there's something seriously wrong with this woman. And when I say that, I'm not being figurative. Like when I say like there's something wrong with Biden, okay, he's got cognitive decline. But there was a time when he was sane. If I say there's something wrong with Bush, okay, well, he's stage acting, basically. He's playing the fool. If I said there was something wrong with Biden 10 years ago, it's just, okay, he's a gaffe master. He's basically being a court jester. He's playing a role. There is something terribly mentally wrong with Kamala Harris. And I suspect literal psychopathy. I'm not being hyperbolic. I suspect that she's a literal psychopath. Normal people do not laugh like that when confronted with a picture of a dead child. They just don't. Well, did you hear about the mass raping in Times Square last night? Yeah, a migrant raped 3 people. That's not funny. What the fuck? Dude, I have a dark sense of humor. I don't find those things funny myself. I prefer to joke about myself being violated or something like that because it's hilarious. You know, you tell your audience, you know, I'd flash my penis, but, you know, none of you probably has a magnifying glass on hand, so I'm not going to bother. Something like that. Or, you know, you talk about, you know, you just say dead babies. Okay, that's grave humor. But with a specific actual real life event where you have literal like dead children, raped people and stuff like that, you don't laugh at that. It's not funny. No normal, sane person finds that to be amusing in any way, shape, or form. You know, unless it's politicians that are dying, then it's hilarious. MF James, I'm worried for Trump. I think they want him to lose so they can blame some false flag shit on the right. They want to kill the idea of Trump, not him. I agree with the latter part, but I'm not worried for Trump, not considering who his opponent is. I think by the end, it's going to be real unplausible for Kamala to have any path forward. Spooky to Kid Crowder has been pulled from Rumble. Rumble banned Steven Crowder. Are you certain? Or did he maybe he removed his channel or? Sigil, did you see the founder of Fur Affinity, the arch fervent Dragoneer, died? Didn't feel bad. He was an outright pedophile and dog fucker. Oh no. Here, let me look this up. Did Crowder actually get pulled from Rumble? I can't believe he's one of their heavy hitters. I can't believe that they would pull his channel. No, he's still there. Yeah, he's still there. Yeah, he made a live stream just 2 hours ago. I don't know what you're talking about. I was worried for a moment. I'm like, oh shit, it begins. But no. Rumble, I trust the people that run Rumble, as well as BitChute and these other sites. New tech is totally different from the old wave of tech. He's under attack from ESG billionaires. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they can cancel him on Rumble. He has fuck you money anyway, so, you know. Next news story. By the way, again, send no more super chats, please. A proposed hydraulic lift for Egypt's first pyramid may or may not hold water. Scientists are conducting studies right now. And of course, they do a bunch of experiments. They do this with the death ray back in the day and shit like that. And now they're proposing that the way that they lift the blocks of one of the older pyramids here, this isn't the Great Pyramid, this is one of the older ones, into place was using hydraulic power. That is that you would use differential pressure and a chamber, a sealed chamber with water in it, pump it. You'd have to have a pump system. And you can raise heavy objects, without actual manpower or with little or less manpower. Or you can do it more slowly, using a gear system. Of course, a person can lift 1,000 pounds if you've got enough gears. But it's going to take some time for you to actually do that unless you're using fossil fuel. Here's how I think they created the pyramids. I think that it's fairly straightforward. Those blocks could have been lifted into place using nothing more than ramps, rollers, and ropes. All you need is enough manpower. If you've got 1,000 people dragging on the same stone, you can lift a pretty fucking heavy stone. What happened in ancient Egypt is that you have an on-season and an off-season. During the wet season, you're planting and harvesting and processing crops and so forth. During the dry season and during the winter months, you're not doing jack shit. The average person doesn't have anything to do. There's nothing you can do. Your entire productivity is growing papyrus or corn, or well, not corn, but or grain of some sort, or carrots or something. Well, you don't have anything to do. And so what they would do is they would centrally allocate all of those resources, or the large proportion of them. It was almost a communistic society, actually, one that almost sort of functioned, but only because they would kill you if you stepped out of line. That's fairly common within communalistic societies. So they would say, look, you get your stipend, your daily stipend of food, maybe a double dose of it, as long as you come and you do labor. And so they would cut stones. They had wind-powered machines for cutting them. They were probably very slow, but you're talking in the span of 10, 20 years to create a pyramid, so it didn't really matter. And then they would lift them into place just through brute effort alone. It would have been fairly simplistic. It would have been an awfully long ramp, of course, but you can definitely do that. I don't think that they had ancient hydraulics. I disagree with the particular study here. They're saying that that's a feasible method for raising blocks into place. I'm sure that they had lots of lifts. The old idea was that they had those cranes that sort of tilt to the side. So you attach the block and then you whirl it around. It moves 100 feet. Then the next crane takes it and you sort of use a series of cranes or something like that. It's plausible. But I have a feeling it really was just brute manpower. And by the way, it had nothing to do with slavery. It had to do with indentured servants sometimes, but not slavery. It would have been completely unnecessary. You're talking about tens of thousands of people working on a fairly regular basis. It would have been unnecessary. Let's see. Daddy Ogi says Clank. Thank you. Clegg H. I think North Carolina goes for Trump, but the governor will be Stein, the Democrat candidate. I agree with you, by the way. Not sure if you've looked into North Carolina's gubernatorial race at all. No, but I think that you're probably right about that. Emperor Soft Turtle. Rock to your dome equals G to your H. Ed. It's a test. You had to say 3 Cicero quotes or you are a lame. Cicero quotes. I don't know if you're talking about Cicero or whoever the fuck you're talking about. And I probably couldn't quote him, so I guess I'm lame. MF James, what are some differences and similarities versus 2020? Similarities, you have a dynastic administration clinging to power, and you have, of course, the same Republican candidate both times, although he's no longer president at the moment. Differences, Trump is running about 8 points ahead in polling versus where he was in 2020. Several of the states that were competitive then are basically off the table, in both directions, by the way. And you've had a defortification of multiple voting systems, most notably in Arizona and most lately in Virginia, actually. Wasted Bonehead, we was pharaohs and shit, Egyptian slaves. Yeah. Yeah, the Nubians and stuff like that. They made pyramids too, actually. And then finally, researchers find book scorpion venom effective against hospital germs. Yes, there's a variety of venomous scorpion that they've been studying. And apparently it's venom. I mean, they can probably synthesize it in a lab fairly easily with the shit they have nowadays. Its venom can actually kill flesh-eating bacteria and shit like that. There was also another story, I think I covered this yesterday or the day before. They found a new antimicrobial compound that can combat hospital germs. This is great, by the way. I think we need a multi-approach to this kind of thing. We've got drug-resistant bacteria now and viruses and shit. And here's what we should do. Bide your time. Use the standard medicine that you've got now for the next 10 years or so, while you develop as many possible counters as possible towards those bacteria, viruses, etc. And then give them all hell. Bombard them with 5 or 6 things at the same time. Well, yeah, I don't think that it's going to be surviving long enough to mutate. The whole problem is that we always use a one treatment approach, generally. You have broad spectrum antibiotics and stuff like that, but generally you say, okay, you've got this infection, here's erythromycin. You've got that infection, here's AZT, etc. What you do is you're not killing all of the bacteria, viruses, or parasites, you're causing them to evolve. But if you go all hell on them and bombard the absolute living crap out of them, there aren't going to be any left to actually mutate. That's what we should be doing. It should be more than multi-spectrum. It should be bombardment. It should be all-out total war on bacteria, especially the ones that have broken loose of our containment capabilities. AI can help us to do this, by the way. If you look at if you have the genetics of the virus, bacteria, etc., and a list of the chemicals or genetic material, whatever the hell you happen to be using to fight them, AI should be capable, if properly programmed, of prescribing hundreds and hundreds of different variants of antimicrobials, antiviral compounds, antibacterials, etc., antifungals, and so forth. We'll bombard them into non-existence. We can eliminate disease entirely. It's all a method of the amount of will that humankind happens to have to do so. Unfortunately, it would require international cooperation. Right now, I don't think that that's really on the table. We can still develop the materials in the meantime. We can still mass produce them. Hell, AI could probably tell us how to more efficiently produce them as well. That would be perfect. Yeah, we eliminated 10 diseases this year. Well, that's pretty cool. Black Plague no longer exists. We got rid of Ebola as well. On the side, Staphylococcus is on its last leg, so give us another year. Anti-Piracy League, I'm about 15 minutes behind, but why not end the Fed first? Well, the Fed is not, I believe, strictly speaking, a bureau at all. So, but you can audit it. You can, but then you'd need to send the IRS after them, I suppose. And I want to get rid of the IRS. Give Congress expanded power to look into what bureaus are doing in the budgetary sense, since they budget them in the first place, and apply that to the Fed, absorb them as a bureau, and then use congressional power while eliminating the IRS effectively and making it very, very simple to do your taxes online. Yeah, that sounds like a good solution. We're capable of doing basically anything. People in the United States, especially, I know not all of you are U.S. viewers, but I'm talking to the U.S. viewers right now. really briefly. Stop thinking in terms of what you can't do. We can do whatever the fuck we want. It's just a matter of having the imagination to formulate what you want to do and the will to carry it through. We're capable of doing anything. Why can't we colonize the moon? Well, of course we can. We've got the technology. We've had the technology for decades to do that. Is it efficient? Is it necessarily useful? Maybe not, but we can. Stop thinking in terms of what you can't do and start thinking, you know what? Fuck the whole world. Just start ignoring them when they tell you that you're wrong and shit like that. We'll do everything. COVIDian lockdowner. Why on earth do you always spam the chat? And what is it about eating crow? I don't even like eating chicken. I prefer beef. I'm going to be eating beef on election night. I think that it's you that's going to be eating the crow. Google and see if it's still on the internet. Kanye West had a video where he, Trump, Kim Kardashian, and others are all sleeping in the same bed. You didn't see it? Press X to doubt. Well, it might have been doing a photo op or something. I think I would have probably seen it if that was actually real. Just saying. Anyways, I've got to go offline. I will not be live tomorrow on Friday because I'm going to be transiting to the beach. I'm going to be getting kelp for the garden. Trust me, I'm going to have 7 or 8 trash bags ready. The car is going to smell a little bit weird towards the end of the 3rd day. And I'm going to look at crabs, and maybe I'll get crabs. Ha, ha, ha. And, you know, just having some fun. I really need to go back to that seafood restaurant. I'm not going to tell you exactly which place I'm staying or which beach I'm going to be on mainly for security reasons. Of course, in New Hampshire, you can open carry, so it's not a big problem. And also, dogs aren't allowed on the beach. So, I mean, people take them to the beach anyway. It's just not supposed to. Sigil Stone, curing all diseases? Sticks. Think of shareholders. How are they going to make a return without diseases, you selfish fuck? Yeah, I know. That's the reason we haven't cured them. It's because profit is made off of merely treating them or trying to prevent them. We have the ability. Let me rant for just 1 more minute, and please send no more super chats. Last week, and that's why I keep saying COVIDian lockdowner needs to stop spamming. Let him. Just ignore him. But here's the thing. If we were to have a broad approach to disease, so attempting to prevent things, bombarding all the parasites and shit, like, look, we've almost eliminated the guinea worm. Jimmy Carter is laughing his way to the grave as we speak because there's been no human infections for 4 months. He did it. Now, this is an infection that was quite widespread, was quite severe. In only a few decades, they knocked it down to 4 nations, and they're not sure that it exists in any of those in human capacity. We've almost eradicated polio. We could eradicate it within a couple of months with a concerted effort. We can eradicate any virus or any bacteria that we want. We just need the will to do so, and of course, the manpower and budget and educational campaign to do so. You knock it down until it's flat, and then you keep knocking it down for a couple of generations, and it goes away. We've done it before. We did it with smallpox. We did it with rinderpest. You're telling me that we can't take care of the last few repository cases of polio so that little kids don't end up fucking crippled for the rest of their lives like FDR? And he was mentally crippled too. Of course we can do that. So yeah, I'm going to be going offline here. I'm going to have to do some packing. At some point, I should probably eat some food, probably from the garden. So I'll talk to you all on Monday. That's about all. Peace out.